You are now tuned in to the War Party Paranormal Radio Show, where we will be discussing actual audio and visual clips captured during the team's investigations. Hear firsthand eyewitness accounts from fellow team members and special guests. Now smash that like, subscribe, and follow button, and let's get ready to welcome team leader and your host, Eric Vanderlaan, and tech specialist and co-host, Mike Del Coro.
Happy Monday, everybody. I'm Eric, your host of War Party Paranormal Radio Show and team leader of War Party Paranormal. And actually, today's actually a pretty good Monday for me, so I ain't complaining. What about you, Mike?
Fantastical.
And this gentleman over here, let him introduce himself.
Where? Over there?
I meant the doll.
Oh,
I'm teasing. I just can't point the right way.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is Mike Del Coro. I'm a tech specialist, investigator, and case manager with War Party Paranormal. And we got a great show for you guys tonight. I'm going to let Eric tell you what we're getting into.
We're getting into something pretty spooky.
All right.
That's what we're getting into. Yeah. Hey, we're going to talk, even though we've only been there one time, we're going to talk about, I think it's like right there on my top of the list of places I've been to, and that's White Hill Mansion. Remember that one, Mikey?
I do, and we got an awesome guest that knows it real well.
Yeah, we do, and we have Kyle Mangus. He's with Get Haunted. They do events, paranormal events all over the Northeast, I believe, and he's also the VP of Friends of White Hill Mansion. So he's an awesome guy, awesome paranormal investigator. I believe like most of the good ones are like right around where he lives in that Northeast Pennsylvania, New Jersey area. I mean, they got like some old stuff there. So
yeah, a lot of history up there. That's for sure.
Oh, sure. But anyway, I got an intro, Mike.
Oh, awesome.
You want me to play it?
I sure do. Let's see it.
All right, let's go. Yeah, that place, I mean, Mike was telling me, and I was like, kept on saying it the whole time, that White Hill Mansion, I mean, that looks like a scene out of a horror movie. Like, that's the way it was built. So it's pretty badass. But we also have another special guest. But first, I'm going to bring in Kyle. And then we have Franny, one of our investigators. And actually, she went up with us at the White Hill Mansion paranormal event. Thank you, Dave Giuliano, our sponsor for the Ghost Hunter store, who invited us there. So we had a good time, and all three of us were together, and we got to investigate it. And we met Kyle in person for the first time, and Mike's got to say something.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, talk about Dave Giuliano and the Ghost Hunter store. I just want to throw out now the Delco goggles are now for sale through the Ghost Hunter store. So make sure you check that out if you want.
There you go. So without further ado, let's welcome Kyle. Welcome,
What's
Kyle.
Up? What's up, guys?
Thanks for
What's
coming
up,
on
man?
the show.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
And actually, you just saw one of our co-founder, Scotty, up at Gettysburg.
Yep.
Scotty was hopefully representing War Party well, but I'm sure she was.
She was repping War Party beautifully.
Awesome. She's here in the chat, actually.
Yes, she is.
Hi, Scotty.
What's
Hey,
up, Scotty?
We got Joe here. We got a couple other team members in the chat. Have everybody hi to everyone. But yeah, man, so you are the VP of Friends of White Hill, right? So you know a lot of the history there. You are there to help support, raise money for the cause. And if you don't mind, maybe give us a quick little rundown of the history. I know you could probably spend all day talking about it, but maybe just like the cliff notes, like the kind of give us a little history of it.
We don't have a time limit, by the way. I just want to throw that in there.
Yeah, so White Hill's history is very complex, but basically it's basically two houses that were put together to make one. So the main body of the house that is there now dates back to about 1750. But they do believe there was a house there prior to that in about 1723. So the Fields family were the original builders in that area at the time. And that's what the town is named after, is Fieldsboro, after the Fields family. But there was 3 generations of Fields, and they all were named Robert. But the main body of the story revolves around Robert II. So he owned the house. He built the 1750 house. So he was very politically and socially connected at his time. He was super wealthy. He was a good businessman. He was into politics. He was also part of what was called the Correspondence Committee in leading up to the American Revolution. So it was a way that they kind of all the colonies talked together and kind of opposed British, taxes and whatnot. So in 1774, in January, he went on one of his personal boats because he owned a shipping company, and the house sits right on the Delaware River. So you got the Delaware River in Pennsylvania right over on the other side of it. And we're about 45 minutes from Philadelphia. So he went on his boat down to a mysterious secret meeting, it was allegedly called. And everyone thought it was one of these correspondence committee meetings. But basically, he went and he never came back. And the people that were with him, they had all kinds of stories like, oh, Mr. Fields was drunk, he fell overboard. None of the stories made any sense. They did find his body a couple of days later. The rumors were he had a gash in his head and Woodard in his lungs. So it was kind of leading up to the American Revolution, and they kind of like swept it under the rug because they didn't know if it was politically or business related. But that left his wife, Mary, pregnant with her 7th child, to run over 600 acres of property, all the businesses, everything. And basically the American Revolution broke out right on her front doorstep. She was visited. Yep, she was visited multiple times by the British troops. They searched the house looking for rebels. She was visited by the Hessians, which were hired mercenaries from Germany, hired for the British. And then she later remarried again to a Navy captain, whose brother was one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. So eventually she got protection orders from the British, from the Hessians, and the Americans, which is a big reason why the house is there. We kind of call her the matriarch of the mansion. She was very smart in her ways throughout the war. But after that, in the 1800s, there was a couple families that lived there, a couple inventors, a famous typesetter lived there. And then its last, life, it got turned into a restaurant. So in 1922, all the way up to 1992, it got turned into a restaurant. So original family opened it up during Prohibition, put a speakeasy in the basement. Family ran it for about 50 years. And then other families bought it later on until about 1992 is when it finally closed. So I like to look at it as it's like a snapshot of American history.
Wasn't it a brothel at one time?
So allegedly in the early 1900s, part of the attic was used as a brothel for prostitution, but we can't prove it, but we can't disprove it either. So there's so much history that we know about White Hill, and there's so much that we really don't know.
Yeah, who knows what the mob did? There's probably a lot of secrets there, right?
Exactly. So much mystery, and you guys know where it is. I mean, it's kind of hard to find now. So imagine, 100 years ago trying to find it.
Right. Oh, yeah. And they had that secret. They had that secret tunnel that went out to the Delaware River too, right?
Yeah, they had. Allegedly, they had 2 tunnels that ran from the basement of the house down to the Delaware River, and they dated back to colonial times. They actually did find the remnants of one and kind of tracked where it would go on an archaeological dig. So
really?
we're supposed to have another archaeological dig in, I think, August or September. So they're planning to try to locate the one on the other side.
I love me a spooky tunnel.
Yeah,
Me too.
They did collapse in the 60s because everyone asks if we can go in the tunnels. I'm like, no, they collapsed in the 60s.
That's what was going to be my next question.
And we're filled in. So it would be cool if they were open, though.
All right. Well, I'm going to bring Franny on because she was there with us. Hello Franny.
Hey, Franny.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Good seeing you guys too.
Going good.
Yeah, so far so good.
So, Franny, what was your first impression when you saw the house when we walked up there? Like,
it was crazy. It was just kind of like breathtaking because it's literally, what I think was mentioned earlier. It was like a horror film. Like, you're walking into that type of set. So it was definitely inside too. Once you even go into like that threshold of like the entranceway, like that definitely gets very spooky inside too. So I don't know. It was really cool. Overall.
Yeah, very cool place.
Yeah.
And by the way, April, your favorite guys you got all your favorite guys here.
Hey, April.
Hello.
Always happy to have April.
Absolutely. Thanks for stopping in, April.
That's for sure. So,
Awesome.
Kyle, so you were talking about the history. How did you get into the paranormal? I mean, it's probably pretty easy. We're in the area that you're in.
Well, it's a good story because I never really was into the paranormal until I started at White Hill. So I was always into the history. And this is right in my local town. I kind of found it and I was like, cool, it's haunted, but I really wanted to save this historic house. So I just went over, started volunteering. The paranormal really wasn't on my radar until I started doing tours and spending more time there. And there was some weird stuff happening that I couldn't explain. And then one day, probably about 2 years in, because I'm very
Greg's here too.
Very skeptical,
Hey, Greg.
I debunk a lot of stuff, but I was in there during the day. I was the only one in the house. I just did a history tour and I went up on the second floor, went to one of the small bedrooms, came out, and in the hallway was a 2 to 3 year old little boy just staring at me. And we locked eyes and he was there for a second. He disappeared. And that's when I was like, okay, this is real. I got to get into this. And that's kind of where
that'll do it.
The paranormal.
Yeah, for sure. But Kyle, you got people like all over in this chat. You got Greg, you got April, you even got our friend Shams. Oh, you got a fan all the way from Brazil.
Man, I'm going
pretty popular.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we're global.
Is it? Did I hear something that is it possible that you have relatives that are somehow tied to the property as well?
My family goes back in that area all the way back to early 1700s, fought in the American Revolution, but the house directly. So my great grandfather used to be the mayor of Fieldsboro, and he used to play on the same baseball team that the guy who owned it. And then in the 70s, when the restaurant was there, a group of local businessmen bought it together. And my grandparents were friendly with them, so they would go there and help them out. My grandfather used to work in the kitchen, and my dad was actually the busboy in the 70s. So I got some family ties there.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know that place really well.
Yep.
And so after that, like when did you get into with Get Haunted?
So I bounced around for a while with different, paranormal teams, kind of trying to find my way. And then I stumbled upon Get Haunted, and I liked what drew me to them originally was they really care about locations. And that's why I do this, to explore the history, to save these places, because a lot of the funding that we're 100% volunteer based at White Hill. So everything that we bring in goes right back into the house. So Get Haunted really helps support these locations. And without the paranormal, a lot of these places wouldn't be available for people to investigate or have any funding really to, keep the preservation going. So that's kind of what got me into Get Haunted, and just their way of, they want everyone to come out and enjoy the paranormal. It's a community, it's a family. Just want everyone to come out and be a part of something. We want you to be an investigator. We don't want to do it in front of you. So it's just it's a lot of community-based atmosphere that really drew me to Get Haunted.
Yeah, you got a large group, right?
Yeah, we've got about 20 to 30 people right now.
Oh, wow.
So we're doing pretty good. And we're always, bringing on new people, and the network is really growing. And that's what's really good about Get Haunted is we branch out with other teams. We help out everyone, working together. And that's what the paranormal should be. It should be
absolutely.
working together.
And we appreciate everything that as Get Haunted has done with War Party, and as well. And Rob's a super good guy, and it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
And we appreciate what you guys do, raising money for these locations and all these different things.
Yeah.
And look what April said. They were experimenting with the Delco goggles.
Yep, we were there. It was pretty fun. It was pretty crazy.
Awesome. Thank you guys. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that you guys are.
Yeah.
And I think you guys actually auctioned them off too, right?
Yeah. I donated a pair to auction off. Yep.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. And so going back to the White Hill Mansion, how did that event do? The one that we went? I mean, you worked with Dave, right?
Yeah. So Dave really helped us out with that one. That was a fundraiser. I think we almost raised $4,000 to $5,000 to go into.
Nice.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
So it was a very successful event. We had a lot of good turnout. Katrina and Heather came out, really helped us out. So it was a good event.
Yeah. Franny got to sneak in there while we were out at our table.
Just like, thanks to Sean, who showed me the place. I didn't even know. I was like, oh, hey, right next to me.
You got a little eye glance from Katrina.
Yeah, I was trying to get the tour of the actual place during the day, and I was like, oh, hey, what's going on?
She brought, and that was awesome of them to do that too. To help bring a lot of people came to see.
I couldn't believe that the line just for her.
Yeah,
that was
cool.
amazing. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, she's been really good to White Hill. Really loves it, really supports it. So huge shout out.
So Franny got to sneak in there and do a little investigating, and then she got some evil look from someone and it went out, right?
I think somebody was guarding I don't know what happened at the moment. I think Sean was trying to take me where that kitchen area was at, because they were signing autographs in between that area.
Yeah.
I think Sean innocently, he was like, oh, Fran, check this out. Come check this out. And it was kind of we went towards when things were starting to settle down before the craziness.
I hope you had your DR60.
I think I did at the time. Yes,
okay,
I did. And then, yes, I was trained well. But I was walking around, and then somebody was like, hey, you're not supposed to go back there. I think it was the kitchen area. I don't know if they had something set up. And I was like,
I'm a guest.
No, I didn't. I was like, oh, sorry. I just walked out because I'm awkward like that. Oh, didn't mean to. My bad. But that was pretty cool, though.
Yeah, very cool. And we got to work with Dave's team. They're called South Jersey Paranormal. Did I get that right?
I think South Jersey Ghost Research, I believe.
Okay, there you go. I think one of the people on that team that we met, Boston Kusi, her face looks familiar. I think she's on that team.
Boston, no, she's with Get Haunted. She helped us out with
okay.
Boston and Chris helped us out with our big boys versus girls event.
Oh, very cool. Okay.
So they were the hosts and put that all together.
So, Kyle, real quick, I just want to ask, what other paranormal stuff have you witnessed there, that pops into mind? I know I'm sure there's so many, but just kind of tell our guest.
So
some of the.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been there almost going on 5 years. So you get kind of numb to it after a while. I know it sounds crazy, but
no, we feel the same way with us.
The ones that stick out to me the most were the little boy full body apparition I saw. Another time we were up in the attic, and when you guys go up to the attic, you go to the left and there's a smaller room. When you go to the right, there's a larger room.
Right.
So we were doing, I think, a public ghost hunt that night or candlelight tour. I can't remember, but everyone was in the big room, and I was just leaning towards. I was leaning in the doorway, looking towards the small room, and it was pitch black. Couldn't see anything in that room, and I remember seeing what looked like somebody kneeling on the ground looking for something, and I was like, "That's weird." And it was just a complete black shadow, and then it popped up. I saw head and shoulders, and it crawled across the floor and it hid behind the door frame twice and peeked its head out, and I could see head and shoulders. It did it twice, and then it disappeared. I love me
a good shadow figure.
Yeah, and it was crazy to me because whatever I saw, it saw me, and we both didn't know what to do. We both were like, we do.
Oh my God, it saw me.
Yeah, I think if I saw something just like that, I think a little.
They probably thought it was probably in reverse. They probably thought you were the ghost, and they were living like.
But I remember specifically, it was you could see it clear. It was darker than the darkness of the room, and it looked like a person, but no features, straight up shadow figure, free floating, and it moved just like a human. It was pretty crazy. Countless disembodied voices. I mean, at White Hill, we get it all. It's just incredible. A lot of shadows lately. And we're kind of known for, and you guys may have picked this up, I don't know yet, but super intelligent spirits that kind of know what's going on. They know why people come there to ghost hunt. They know why we're there. They know my name. They know Dawn's name. They know some of our volunteers' name. It's pretty incredible, the intelligence sometimes of the spirits there.
Well, we got some evidence. We were only there for a couple hours, right, guys? And
yeah, we weren't there very long.
Got like some good stuff, and we were hanging out with Dave's team. They're pretty cool. They were fun to hang out with. But I'm going to show one video where we were in the basement. So what they did was they locked me up in the meat freezer, and I did an EVP session while they were outside.
Not long enough.
If I'm going to be locked up anywhere, it's going to be the meat freezer, right? But it was fun. So here we go.
What's up?
What is going on in there? I heard.
Happy.
Yeah, play it for us.
All right. So we're in the meat locker.
Sure.
Freezer.
What?
Well, someone's not very happy.
Yeah. Play the other one real quick for us, one more time.
That was rough.
That is nuts.
All right.
Did you feel anything in there?
I didn't feel anything.
They didn't want me to touch their meats, Kyle. But
So,
yeah.
I mean, you know, for once we'll get those like sounds like a scream once in a while on the
but we
DR,
were completely quiet. Like
it was so quiet.
weird.
Like he had the door, we had the door shut, and at one point there, it almost sounded like two different voices over the top of each other. I mean, that was pretty wild. I mean, obviously couldn't make it out, but very, very strange.
Yeah.
A lot of times people get down there, there seems to be a male, super aggressive male spirit down there that when he comes out, he doesn't want you to be there. Usually he says really bad words. But he's also super intelligent. I mean, we've had him channel through a medium twice. And the first time I was skeptical, but he knew it was like interviewing a ghost. I don't have any other way to describe it. He told us everything. And then when he was done, he was like, I'm done, and just left. Other people have got him on EVPs just like that, where he's just like, get out, basically.
I was just asking about getting a drink. That's all I wanted. I figured they'd be nice about that. I don't try to like antagonize or anything.
Nah, it just seems like whenever he has enough, he has enough. Doesn't matter. So,
yeah, right. So anyway, we got it. During that same time we were down there, they had a laser grid set up there in the basement, and I'm just gonna. You won't be able to see anything, but just like hearing from the people's experience on what they saw is pretty cool. So I'm gonna play that, and then I'll share some EVPs at after halftime.
Session or like replaying it, I kept like looking this direction to see if the grid kept moving for some reason, but not that I saw.
So, like, you just saw something kind of peek out around
I
the.
saw something peek out with the laser grid. so you can easily see the shadow against the back wall.
And that was, we were all over here doing the EVP session.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know you guys were back there.
Asked if he was like, they're still back there? Or, yeah. Were you like at the bar, like from that distance?
Mm-hmm. I was in like by the bathroom.
When that happened while I was in here?
Yeah.
It happened when you were in there when you fought the EVP. And I didn't know you guys were back here.
Because you guys were all being quiet, so.
Interesting.
I had even asked Alex and Michael, because Michael was, I think Maggie's still back there with some people. And I was like, really? I've been staring back here for like 10 minutes. And I haven't heard anybody.
Let's. You want to give it one more go? We'll run a.
Yeah, go back.
Yeah.
I love me a spooky basement. I mean, I could have spent the whole night there. I mean, we were only there for like a few minutes.
Yeah, it gets creepy down that side of the basement. And funny story too, the guy who saw the shadow, he was at the event all day, and everyone was getting me and him confused. They were calling each other. They were calling him.
Oh, I did at one point. It was dark, Kyle.
All day. He said somebody came up to him during the event and like had a full conversation with him, and he's like, "You know, I'm not Kyle." And they're like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry." But yeah, definitely down there. And like I was telling you guys before, recently, in that side of the basement, there's been an incredible amount of shadows. Like all the time when we go down there now, you see them dart, and that's kind of like a new thing. So I don't know. Maybe you guys stirred something up when you came down.
Right.
I don't know, but
Like those damn Floridians.
Damn Floridians.
At that same time, Franny, you saw something there too, right?
Yeah, same thing, just like movement, especially with the laser grid. Like somebody was like, "Oh, the laser grid's moving," and it's like kind of where the pipes are. Like, you kind of have to inspect that too if there's any movement. I'm not sure how cricky are the floors above and everything. That's what came to my mind, but it was weird because the laser grid was moving, even if there wasn't any movement coming from above. Like, it was weird, like how that was kind of like there's like movement even for that. So I don't know, but yeah, that's what I was kind of sensing too. It was just more like movement from like the corner of my eye or like the side of my eye and my peripheral. But yeah,
Creepy.
yeah, that was really creepy. Yeah, for sure.
Well, we're at that halfway mark, right, Mike?
Yes, we are. We're really close to it.
Yep.
All right. So, we gotta. What do you say, Eric? We gotta pay the bills, right?
We got to pay some bills.
So we got a couple clips here that we got to run for a couple sponsors that we're doing, and we'll be right back with you.
What's up, my paranormal peeps? I'm Eric Vanderlaan, and I'm the host of War Party Paranormal Radio, and also the team leader of War Party Paranormal Research. And we got an exciting announcement to let you guys know tonight, and it involves stuff like this, and my co-host is going to tell you all about it.
What's up, guys? I'm Mike Del Coro with War Party, obviously. We are a technical team, and we always have people ask us, where can we get equipment like this? Well, you can get it from the ghosthunterstore.com. We got a nice little sponsorship worked out with them. We're going to be doing some giveaways, so stay tuned. Very, very cool, and go check them out at theghosthunterstore.com.
Peace.
Yeah, guys, and when you go to the checkout there, if you put in the promo code Ghosts Gone Wild, you get a discount on your purchase. And another thing I mentioned earlier in the show, the Delco goggles that I created to be able to use to do the Gansfeld experiment or the Delco experiment. You could use them for meditation, all kinds of different things. They're now on sale at the Ghost Hunter store, so make sure you check them out.
What's up, my paranormal people? Eric and Mike here from the War Party Paranormal Radio Show, wanting you to remember the importance of hydration. Remember, we hunt ghosts. We don't want to turn into ghosts. Dehydration can lead to inflammation and even degenerative disease, so hydration is crucial.
Whether you're up all night investigating the paranormal, sky watching, or Bigfoot, Fuel Up Hydration System is designed to support motivation, concentration, and rejuvenation. with the best immune-enhancing delivery system available today.
Experience the benefits of Fuel Up with their Feel the Difference money-back guarantee.
Visit fuelup.gg/warparty for their special offer that includes free shipping. Fuel Up for life. Hey, Eric, how do we do?
It's awesome.
All right. Well, maybe we should stick to hunting ghosts. I don't know if commercials is our thing.
True that. You could have used that at Gettysburg, Kyle.
Yeah,
We should have brought some with us the other night when we were filming for the Hunter Files.
I know, right? Oh, that just gave me an idea. We need to talk to KGRA and maybe they can sponsor us at one of the events with Fuel Up. There you go.
Yeah, that's right.
Bam. We'll give some freebies.
So, guys, fuelup.gg/warparty and you'll get a special offer. And last but not least, we just concluded with our finale of the Haunted Files. So right now we're season 1 is finished and season 2 are in the works.
Don't be sad.
It's a great time to get on Paraflix right now and binge watch and catch up on all the episodes. Excuse me. And if you go to Paraflix and you sign up and you use the Haunted Files 25 as your code, you get 25% off your annual subscription. It comes out to like $30. Come on, guys. Come support us. Check it out. And I got a little trailer to play for the episode. It's now streaming right now. This is the season finale.
Last Friday night it aired.
Correct.
And we didn't waste any time. The next night we were out there filming again for episode
That's
2.
right.
There you go.
All right, guys. So this is the House of Refuge.
We gonna look for some ghosts.
This house has seen death.
It's getting crazy in here.
And those are the stairs where people is getting touched and pushed.
So that was spooky.
We're going to give it a shot. We're going to do the Delco experiment. Is that you standing next to us? This is nuts. Nuts.
You died.
Okay.
This was such an amazing investigation. The girl that's in the video, that's Chessie. She's one of our team members. She's actually our historian, and she's actually the historian of the House of Refuge. It sits on the Atlantic, like right there on the beach. It's right on the ocean in Stuart, Florida. And she was telling me I've never really experienced like much paranormal, anything paranormal here. Until that night, we like blew her mind away. We were getting stuff that was relating to the history, which is all you want. So check it out. It's an amazing.
Yeah,
show.
it's wild. There's, it was stationed there to help people that were shipwrecked. There was 10 of them up and down the East Coast. So
that's the last one standing.
Kyle,
you come down here, we'll chase ghosts, and we'll put an ice cold mojito in your hand.
All right, excellent.
Yeah,
She hasn't been there yet.
No, I haven't. No, that's on my bucket list. Yeah,
it's a small place, but man, it's worth it. It's awesome. So
yeah, lots of death there.
Yeah, Chessie did amazing too. That was a really good episode.
And actually, Chessie was on was it Unknown Expedition with Josh?
Yeah.
Expedition Unknown. Yep. I forget the name of the
episode. Yeah, it was on the Ashley Gang.
The Ashley Gang. That's probably what the name of it.
All right, so let's get back into it.
Should I show another video?
Yeah, that'll be a good.
Let's do it.
Good way to kick it off. All right.
Do it.
So let's start with this one.
Some things we don't serve scotch.
no, we don't have or something.
I thought I said it doesn't matter. Get back or something like that. Listen.
That was pretty clear.
Yeah, and Mike, the audio. We're using your GoPro because the audio was amazing on that thing. I have headsets on, and it's like sounds real good.
I think that was just from my phone.
Oh yeah. By the way, Josh said sent you a thank you.
Oh yeah, absolutely, Josh. Anytime.
Yeah, Josh was on the show. Awesome person.
Yeah,
you know
Josh
Kyle,
was,
right?
he was using the Delco goggles.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
awesome.
we were talking about it on the show, so it was cool that he got to check them out.
That's awesome.
And did he experience anything? Did he were you there when he was talking about it?
Yeah, we were in the room when he had him on. It was interesting because he had him on, and then Cody and Satori did their thing. And he kind of some of the stuff he was saying made sense with what they were asking too. So it was kind of interesting how he was able to do that. So
that's cool. Did he feel or get any visions or anything like that?
He kept saying he saw movement in his peripherals.
Oh, okay.
It was interesting because it was on the side where they were too. Sometimes,
yeah.
You know, they would ask can you make a knock in the room over here, and that's where he would see. Yeah,
Franny's done it a couple of times. She's got some weird experience too, right, Franny?
Yeah, mine's it's not visual for me. It's more like sensation. So I just felt like I've been pulled at the denim house. Like that was kind of weird. I felt like I was being dragged in the middle of my session. Definitely felt like I've been touched. Just things like that. It's more like sensation for me, not more visual, but maybe one day we'll see.
Yeah. You just did it at Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Eric's seen stuff, right? You saw a couple somebody walking by.
No, I'm not going to give away Friday, but you got to go see it. I'm not going to say anything about it. But yeah, I've seen things. I've felt things. Felt like wind blow by when there's no wind to be blown. And
well, even at the House of Refuge, there was some stuff that happened there.
Yeah, you're going to have to watch it and you'll see. And we got evidence. While I was saying it happened, some things were happening to confirm it. So that's as far as I'm going to go, Mike.
Yeah, I wish I could talk about what happened Saturday, what visuals we're seeing, but we'll have to wait. That's pretty wild.
Well, I got one more video. All right. We'll go back to the tunnel because that's a badass place.
Yeah.
Get the heck out or something. They said it was
go back.
Yeah, it's get the fuck.
I thought I said.
Hang on, let me listen.
Get the fuck out.
Yes. That's crazy. Here, let me grab this and then we'll play back yours. It says it fast, almost sped up,
Fast and clear.
What had you asked right before that?
What do you think about us being down here?
Yeah, all right, we're down here type deal.
All right, we're down here. What do you think about us being down here? Is this where you used to hide the moonshine or booze? Can you tell us where the tunnel was?
What tunnel? Trying to be sneaky, right?
All right, we're down here. What do you think about us being down here? Is this where you used to hide the moonshine or booze?
completely
pretty
forgot
crazy.
about that.
Yeah, that was pretty wild.
And Kyle was saying that like he already like confirmed it. Like there's something down there that doesn't like people there.
Yeah, and that's kind of that tunnel is kind of where we think from just the reports and people investigating where that male spirit kind of hangs out and where he kind of seems to come from there too. So I
And
don't
you know
know.
what's funny is you said earlier too that he likes to curse, and then we played this one where it says "Get the f out."
Yeah, and it's weird because we used to think he kind of just stayed in that area down in the basement, but I think he goes all over the house. I don't think he's just kind of in that area. So that's interesting. You guys caught it too, and you guys are brave. I don't even investigate down there. There's like big cave crickets and shit down there. So,
as long as they're not
back in there
cockroaches.
again. That's the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Sorry.
Cave crickets.
Yeah.
I don't know. They look like crickets or cockroaches.
They're
crickets.
They're crickets, but they look like they're like spider crickets. I don't know how to describe it. Google it. It's horrifying.
Oh, really? How big are they? They big?
Like Indiana Jones big.
Oh, there you go.
Fine.
Well,
as long as it looks like a cricket, I'm cool with that. Like, you know,
well, we'll have to take that in mind when we go back. So if anyone says they got touched down there, we'll have to make sure they
we know.
That's a cool EVP though. The what tunnel, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of times, like when we do Estes, we'll get really smart answers. They're messing with us. Like,
yeah,
hey, come on.
Yeah, I mean, like, think about it, right? If you had somebody that had a secret tunnel and you're like, hey, tell me about the tunnel. And they're like, what tunnel? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
There's a tunnel.
Yeah, they're not going to be, hey, it's over there.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's a cool place, though. Definitely, it's a creepy place. I was definitely very intrigued when I went downstairs from like the daytime. Yeah. I was like, I'm gonna check that out later. So no, it was cool. Yeah.
And it seems to have a different vibe. Like during the day, like any place, it's it's different. But the later it gets, it tends to get a little weirder. I don't know how to describe it. So it'd be interesting when you guys come back if you stay longer for a longer period of time and just kind of.
Well, we got there like at like 10 o'clock, like after 10.
About so.
Yeah, because we filmed for the Selma Mansion.
We had no sleep.
And then we came to the event the next day. So after the event, we went back to the hotel or the wherever the hell we were staying, and crashed for a little bit, and then came back at like 10 at night. And then we were only there for a couple hours. Yeah. So definitely,
I mean, we got all that, and like we hadn't even gotten up to the other floors yet. And actually, I don't know if we had the video of it, but the picture of Kyle, you in the tub with the tripwire. Well, yeah, Franny did the same thing, and we got bathtub, an EVP bathtub, right, Mike?
Awesome.
Yeah, we did, and I don't know what happened to that. Like I said, we weren't really prepared. We were like just filming with our phones, and just kind of came with
just to investigate, not film.
Do you guys know the story of that bathroom or the alleged story?
Someone in the tub had their throat slit. Some dude was
allegedly
prostitute or something like that.
So when we first started doing paranormal tours like 10 years ago, before like the internet was big and we were known for being a haunted place, we used to have people come through and investigate, and people would be sensitive or psychic, and they'd always go into that bathroom and say they see blood or somebody died in the tub. And it was enough times where it was like, maybe there's something to this, but we don't have any. There's only 3 documented deaths on the property in the 300 years, but we really don't know. But enough people have come through, and that's why it's gotten called the name the Bloody Bathroom. So,
okay.
A lot of people sit in that tub, and I don't know if you felt any kind of sensation. Sometimes people feel something kind of pushing down on them, or just weird vibes when they're sitting in there.
Not quite. I did. Like what I felt was like, it took me a while because I felt like everybody's kind of like, what do you feel? And everybody's like looking. I'm like, hold on, give me a second to marinate. Because I felt like there was too much going on. But then after a while, just sitting a couple minutes in, I just felt like my left-hand side, like it was like a tingly sensation. It was just more like tingles. And like, I felt like just that. It was just like that numbness, but nothing like crazy. And then later, I think I was talking to Dave Giuliano, who was saying like, oh, that's interesting. That could be like your left-hand side getting drained. It's like the blood flow, like that would start off first would be like the left-hand side. So it's interesting. You kind of felt that. But other than that, that's all I felt was like a tingling sensation on the left-hand side of like my whole entire body, like kind of like going up and back, you know?
And it was funny, like one of the team members on Dave's team, they were there and they saw us using the DR60s. And I admit it puts out a lot of static and stuff like that, but
It's very controversial.
Yeah. You'll get some really clear ones that you can't argue. And when we got Bathtub, the guy was like, Dave said that those aren't any good. That he's like, and I'm like, well, what do you think now? It's like, I think he's wrong.
Yeah, they liked it. They were like really surprised.
I've got some really good EVPs with all kinds of recorders. I don't have the DR60, unfortunately, but I got one from, if you go through the bathroom, there's those two other rooms. One's a smaller bedroom. And for some reason, that room is really active. And we were in there one night and I had a recorder running and it was like 100 degrees and there was this big bug flying around. And I made a joke like it sounded like the Red Baron or something. And on the recorder, you hear a man's voice go, "Ha ha, good one." Just like making fun of me of my stupid dad joke. So it's crazy. Sometimes they come through so clear and so.
What's your favorite recorder?
I got it right here, actually. So it's just a Sony.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I have one of those too.
Yeah, I've gotten crazy good luck with it. I don't know.
First recorder.
Yeah, it was my
first one. Yeah,
and it's funny because that one I've gotten more EVPs, and I've bought other ones of the same one, and just they don't get as good as the original first one. I don't know.
Yeah, I got some good EVPs from Alcatraz, like on that recorder, like that. Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. Another good one is like we don't use DR60s all the time. We change it up, and we've been using a lot the Sony ST25. Used to be like $15 like 5 years ago. Now it's like $250. When you do get an EVP on that one, it is clear as day because that thing like is very sensitive.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and I know Rob uses the DR60 and at White Hill, some of our events that he's helped out with, like our candlelight tours, he's done some recordings. And I remember the one time it was around Halloween. It was like the week before Halloween. And he played back the recorder. And before he even said anything, you hear a clear voice that says, "Happy Halloween," right before he said anything. It was crazy. People lost their mind because it was before he even said anything. It just picked it up. "Happy Halloween." I was like, what?
That's sick. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I remember one place walking out of an event, like we were walking out and wrapping up, and I'm like, okay, good night. Is there anything else you want to say? And I play it back, good night. Or we were like at the Gold Coast Rail Museum during the day with Scotty, and when it was her birthday, and we were like, okay, are you gonna? It's Scotty's birthday today. Can you wish her a happy birthday? And we got happy birthday.
Yeah,
pretty wild.
It is crazy. Did you guys feel anything or notice anything on the outside, on the grounds at all?
We didn't really like walk around because the only time we did was like during the day with all those people there.
Yeah,
it's a little bit different.
Anything interesting outside?
Oh yeah. So before there were any European settlers there, that was all Native American land.
That's what I figured.
And we had 3 archaeological digs, and they determined that there was it was Lenape Native American winter settlement. So they came there for probably thousands of years in the wintertime, and that was like their base operations. And then when the weather got nice, they moved on. But I've seen in the tree line one time we were hosting a ghost hunt, and me and Dawn, our president, went outside, and she was having a cigarette with her back towards the wood line, and I saw a hand come out. It didn't like reach for
him. Wow.
Cool. And it went like quietly into the leaves, and it's a straight hill, and it's just like thick thorn bushes. So I know there was no one back there. And I remember she was just talking to me, and my eyes were this big, and I just wasn't listening to anything she was saying. I'm like, there was a hand behind you.
So even out there in those woods.
And it's interesting too, because we've had a couple volunteers over the years. Whenever they're at the house, like hosting, or one came out just to have a cigarette on the front porch and looked over, and there was a full body apparition of what they described as a Native American man, and they always seem to be just observing. So it's
funny. It's funny how like a lot of haunted places that have any type of like Native American history are active, because we got a lot of those places down here. I mean, we have the Deering Estate. Most people probably haven't heard of it, but it's considered the most haunted location in Miami. And they have University of Miami out there doing archaeological digs and found things that goes back to prehistoric. They found Tequesta Indians buried there. They found like two little mummy girls like buried. It's really weird.
Woolly mammoth tusks,
saber-toothed tiger. There's actually an Indian burial mound where they discovered bodies in there, and it was like buried in a circular fashion. It was like really weird.
And I think that's why White Hill's still so active and so haunted, because there's just been people there for so long.
Yeah.
How many energy? Yeah.
How many people? I don't even know if it's recorded that. I know it was like a hospital during the Revolutionary War that they took over the house.
So then the Revolutionary War time period, the records are really kind of vague. We know a lot about Mary Fields, but we do know that the Hessians stayed there for 2 weeks before Washington crossed the Delaware. So we know they were there for 2 weeks. There was rumors that they had over 26 or 27 prisoners. So we don't know what they did with the prisoners. And there's rumors there was a prisoner exchange on the property also. What's interesting is the Continental Navy, before it was really a thing, the original like 13 ships, two of them were purposely scuttled right off the back of the White Hill mansion, right in the river.
Oh, really?
So it's kind of
you can find them there.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy to think like now people take it for granted. You look out there and it's like, imagine a warship just coming up behind your house.
I know. Like I was trying to imagine that when we were standing out there checking out the river, but we got to do a little. We just
had a show last week where we had Greg on, and we were talking about Fort Mifflin, and we were talking about that, like how the warships would come up to Fort Mifflin and everything, and it was kind of the same deal. So Delaware River, right? And it's just wild to think about it, right?
Yep.
Hey, I got a question for you. This is what is when we were in the attic, there was like a big barrel, like huge.
Oh yeah,
like with a train track.
Yeah.
Like that. What was that?
So that's what they call a cistern. So that was put in
rainwater.
Yeah. So that was put in. We think around, and the archaeologists and historians think it was about 1860 because of those railroad tracks that it's on. And it basically was an indoor water tower. So they would pump water in from a well, and it would gravity feed through pipes.
Gravity feed.
Like
that's what I thought.
I got
precursor to indoor plumbing at the time. So yeah.
I wonder if the mob ever put a dead body in there.
So there was rumors allegedly that in the 1920s, the family who opened it up was the Glink family. Mr. Glink opened up the speakeasy in the basement. Everyone knew it was there, and he allegedly made illegal alcohol, which wasn't uncommon at the time. And the rumor was he used to make it up in that cistern. He used to make it in the bathtub, hide it in a cistern, and then he would use those tunnels that were still active at that time to deliver it up and down the local river towns. So,
oh, cool. But we got to do a quick compliance thing when we get to this point of the show. Hate to interrupt, but I just want to let the KGRA digital broadcasting listeners who are listening to the show that they're going to be going on to their next show. And if you want to continue listening, you can listen or actually watch on our War Party Paranormal YouTube channel. And for those of you that aren't on KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network, got to check them out. We're not the only show there. They got amazing people. They talk about everything from cryptids to UFOs. They have, celebrities that do have their own shows there. So yeah, check them out. You go to their website, they give you a discount as well. So we throw discounts everywhere. How'd I do, Mike?
You did fantastic. It's
awesome.
KGRADB.com. Check them out.
All right. Now where were we? Talking about tunnels.
Cisterns and tunnels and ghosts and ships. And
ghosts.
So Kyle, so other than White Hill, like what's like the place that's impressed you the most that you've been to?
So there's a couple. Fort Mifflin's a good one. I've had some crazy experiences in there, especially in some of the casemates where they used to keep prisoners during the Civil War.
Yeah.
We've got some really incredible things in there. The Shanley Hotel.
I like the Shanley.
Yeah, have you guys been there?
I have.
Yeah, I've had some crazy experiences up in Adam's room. I mean, there was
you know what? That's where I had some wild experiences. It's actually on a YouTube video that Joe and I put together, and I did a solo session up in there and just kind of locked myself up in Adam's room by myself, and it was pretty wild.
Yeah, it got so intense. There was like a 10-minute time span where like pretty much every paranormal experience happened. Disembodied voices, EVPs. I remember I was sitting there and we were all sitting in the dark, and somebody stood up right in front of me and then walked past me, and I was like, "What is
That's cool.
Yeah, the Shanley sticks out in my mind. Mid Orange. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Mid Orange.
I heard of it. I haven't been there yet.
Yeah, it's a huge property, but oh man, it's got some crazy activities, crazy EVPs, shadow people. It's just an awesome place.
And you're going to the South Pittsburgh Hospital, right?
Yeah, so that's coming up in the end of July, the 28th and 29th. We'll be at first will be the Friday, we'll be at Old South Pitt, and then the next day we'll be at Harriman Hospital. So it's kind of a doubleheader.
And have you been to South Pittsburgh before?
I have not.
Oh my God, you're gonna love it. I mean, I tried to go in there at night. We drove up to Waverly Hills. You've been to Waverly Hills too, right?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. On the way back, we did a day investigation. It was just like, I think 4 of us there. We had the whole place to ourselves, and we're there for like 4 hours, and it was amazing. The things that we captured there just during the day. So I can only imagine what happens there at night.
Yeah, I'm excited.
You'll love that place. There's
tickets still available. So if you guys, anyone's out there is interested, go over to gethaunted.com, check it out. Go to our Facebook page, check it all out.
And do you want to, like, people who are like here in the chat who don't know Get Haunted, like tell them what you guys actually do? And
yeah, so Get Haunted is an events and service company. So it started out helping out smaller paranormal teams with their merch, their T-shirts, specializing in custom equipment, and it spawned in from that. Rob, the founder, he just wanted to get back into events, so then he opened up the event side. So anything that encompasses paranormal, he can help you guys out. And we go all over the country and we host events, and we want everyone who's from beginners to experienced people to come out, have fun. It's kind of like a paranormal hangout. People who don't know, we have equipment. We teach you first half of the night. We teach you how we do it and give you some tips and techniques. And then the rest of the night, we want you to go out and try it for yourself. So we give you a little free roam. If you guys need help, we come help you guys. So it's a really awesome experience. And it's
come sage me, Kyle.
Yeah, it's all about getting people involved. And like a lot of people have a hard time starting out in the paranormal because they don't know where to go. So we're trying to take that away and give people, experiences and confidence to kind of do it on their own and come out and have a great time with us.
And how often do you guys have your events?
So right now we have about 35 events for this year. So we're halfway through. So pretty much every month we have an event.
Okay.
July was pretty busy for us. August, we got a couple events. And September, we're looking busy. So we go everywhere. So the furthest we've gone this year was out to Kansas, McIntyre Villa. We've been to the Battleship. We got the Conjuring House. We've got a whole bunch of events. We got White Hill. White Hill always sells out quick too. So,
and you go to all of them?
I try to go to as many as I can.
Okay, that's hard with having a day job, right?
It is. Yeah, it is. It's a lot of on the roads on the weekends. So yeah, it's tough, but it's a great time. I really enjoy going out and helping people have experiences. I mean, it's cool.
Yeah, you have the same passion as us. We're like all over the place too. I mean. For those of you that are in the chat right now that don't really know about War Party Paranormal, that's our team in South Florida. We're probably one of the largest paranormal research teams in South Florida. We have 30 members. And what we do is we help people, we help the public, anyone who has an issue with paranormals in their home or their business. And of course, we're non-for-profit, so we don't charge for our services. We'll go there and help you. And then we do events similar to what Get Haunted does, but just locally. And what we do is we help raise money doing paranormal events at known haunted historical locations. And we also do it just to get the word out. That's how people like pretty much reach out to us. If someone like has a residential case, a lot of times they won't call us. They want to come and check us out. And then later at the end of the event, they're like, you'll never believe what's going on in my house. And I'm like, tell me. So yeah, so just want to let people know that. And yeah, we're all over the place. Right, Mike? We got the show every Monday night. We got Haunted Files on Paraflix. Mike's making Delco cockles every single day. I mean, I don't know how we do this.
Yeah, it's busy, but it's something that we're passionate about, and it's fun. So, and we enjoy helping people and doing the right thing. Yeah, and like Eric said, the money that we raise for the tickets to come out and visit with us and investigate with us, all that goes directly to the historical foundations to help raise money to keep these places around and preserve the history.
Yep, like what Kyle said earlier, these places are struggling. If you're passionate about the paranormal, like you don't even have to hit up ours or Get Haunted, just hit one up because that money goes directly to that museum and it really helps them out. And I mean, that's all. I mean, I'm passionate about preserving history. I mean, if anyone that's down here in South Florida knows about history, it gets wiped out with money and condos and real estate, and pretty much it's all gone. And at least they're trying to save some of it. So I really commend you on that.
Florida history is few and far between because everybody, as soon as something is abandoned or goes away or does something, they just dollar signs in their eyes and just want to wipe it down and build condos, So it's big to try to preserve these places around and all over the country,
Yeah. Eventually we'll be underwater in 20 years. So why you want to buy that down here? Bad investment, bad long-term investment.
Sorry, remind me, hurricane season's like right around the corner. I mean, it's already here, but it's already here. But I mean, like the real hurricanes where they're coming like.
Oh, it's starting now, and it's been so hot, and I think we're gonna have a busy season, unfortunately, because it's been so hot.
I can't afford last year. I'm still recovering our side from Ian. Like it's too much. It's too much.
Yeah.
Oh, it's awful.
So Kyle, come down here during the wintertime.
Yes.
You want to get away from the snow.
Yes.
That's the perfect time.
Winters are sounding like November for us now, not even October. Yeah. So that time.
Oh, by the way, Ernesto Paez, Modern Mimes, another one of our investigators. Check him out. He's on YouTube, Modern Mimes, and all the music you hear in our videos, that's the man that writes it for us. So we appreciate him for that.
Awesome.
He's awesome.
Awesome, Kyle. So why don't you tell everybody where they can find you and find your personal stuff on social media, things like that.
So I'm on Instagram. It's Kyle Get Haunted. I think I actually was in the chat too. Facebook, just Kyle Mangus. You can find me at Get Haunted. Guys, join up on our Get Haunted network page. A lot of information, a lot of different things going on there. Friends of White Hill Mansion. If anyone out there wants to donate, go right to our website. It goes right to keeping that place open, repairing it so we can keep investigating and exploring the history. And check out Get Haunted's events, all their services. Go right to their website, gethaunted.com. We have a couple awesome events this weekend. We have, if anyone's out there in Pennsylvania, we have Old Franklin County Jail.
Nice.
Out in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. We still have some tickets available for the Conjuring House this weekend. And I believe we have Enfield, the 1771 Enfield House, or otherwise known as the Demon House, up in Connecticut. I believe that one's sold out, but there's going to be more dates available for that. So
very cool.
And a lot of different events. So definitely check it out.
Yep.
Nice.
GetHaunted.com right down there in the bottom.
Check it out.
Check it out.
And Franny, why don't you tell the people where they can find you and your stuff?
So you can find me on YouTube, Supernatural Eye. Instagram will be supernatural_eye. And Facebook, I'm not super active on, but just Supernatural Eye. And that's pretty much where you can find me at. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so make sure you check her out as well. And her show's great. And it's not only great because she's in it, but it's also because I'm in it.
Best in true.
I help edit.
Yeah, editor. I was getting there. I was like an editor. We got it. Yeah.
I also participate.
Teamwork equals dream work. There you go.
Yes.
So, guys, if you want to follow any of my personal content or anything like that I put out there, the easiest way is to go to FLAparanormalresearcher.com. I have a blog. I have the links to all my social media stuff. upcoming events and all that fun stuff. And you got to make sure that you follow or go check out www.warpartyparanormal.com. We have all our upcoming events posted on there, links and bios for all our team members and different things, and information about the show and the Haunted Files as well.
Yep. And most definitely, if you're from South Florida, you know anyone from South Florida that needs help, tell them to come hit us up and we'll help them. I mean, Kyle, Scotty, she's like 100 years old, so we probably got like over 500 years experience on our team.
That's wrong.
Horrible.
No, I love Scotty.
Kyle's like, I don't know how to answer this.
Yeah.
Kyle's like,
Kyle's saying quiet.
You better hope she's not in the chat. You're gonna get
she's
that.
She's 6'5", Kyle.
No,
and she's packing. She's packing all the time. Got to be careful. But she is our team mom. So like what she says, it's like herding cats. So there you go.
She's our mama bear.
Yeah,
that brings the best brownies in town.
Yeah, definitely.
Cookies during those investigations are needed. Yeah.
And those people that are in South Florida, or maybe someone who wants to go down in South Florida and investigate, we got 2 events coming up in August, actually back to back, 2 different locations. August 25th, we have the Old Davie Schoolhouse Museum, which is in Davie, Florida. And if you want to travel down here for that, just down the street is Hard Rock, the big ass guitar. You can stay there, sit by the pool, drink your mojitos, and at night come investigate us with ghosts. It's like 5 minutes away. And then the next evening, then you can go up to our next event up in West Palm Beach. And that place is amazing. That's the Riddle House. I mean, not the Riddle House, the Yesteryear Village Museum. And the most famous location there is the Riddle House that was featured on when Ghost Adventures used to be a funeral parlor and someone hung themselves. But there's many locations there, buildings there that they brought over and restored, and they all have their different personalities. Actually, the Riddle House is even the most active.
Yeah, that's a really cool place to go investigate because we have like 4 or 5 buildings open at a time, and you can investigate each one, and they're all within like walking distance. It's like Paranormal Disney World.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a living museum. They have people that dress up in time period outfits, and they take people from house to house, and they talk about the history, and
it's all really haunted.
And we'll sage you in case you get scared.
All right.
We'll sage your ass.
All
right. So, and another thing real quick I want to say is I want to thank everyone that's in the chat, all you new people that joined us. Keep watching us. We always have great guests like Kyle, and we're going to have more. So now you can watch us on War Party Paranormal YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and tell all your friends to subscribe to us. And you can listen on KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network if you want to listen to it in your car through iHeartRadio, Spotify.
And don't forget to check out the Haunted Files on Paraflix.
For sure. Yep, Paraflix.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. We appreciate you all, and thank you again, Kyle, for coming on.
Thanks,
Kyle. Thanks, Franny.
Thank you.
Peace.
And Franny.
Bye.